I'm bowing down before you, Patty Jenkins and Mr. Zack Snyder, Mr. Jeff Johns, because this is the single greatest origin story when it comes to a superhero I have ever seen on screen. This is arguably one of the best superheroes ever made, and to me it is by far top 5 point blank period, alright? Wonder Woman, produced by Zack Snyder, executive produced by Jeff Johns, directed by Patty Jenkins, starring Gal Gadot as, of course, Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman, and Chris Pine as Steve Trevor, alongside another great fucking cast. This movie, from start to finish, from the moment it comes on to the moment it goes into blackness with the credits, had me on the edge of my seat, had my breath just grasped, you know, had me in the palm of its hands because of how amazing it is. Alright, let's break it down. From the very beginning, I want to start saying this. This movie is very colorful, however, it does not shy away from the horrors of war. And it is an incredible upbringing of Wonder Woman, alright? You get to see her really from the earliest days. I'm talking about when she was a child, how her mother wanted to shadow her away from war, and what she truly was and her true origin, to her actually becoming the greatest warrior of Themyscira, to her meeting Steve Trevor, for her having this naive aspect to herself of wanting to help every single person, believing that people are a force of good and that Ares is responsible for this war that's going on, this war to end all wars, her having this very close-minded view of the world because she's never been outside Themyscira. And it was a really interesting story. It was two fish out of water. One is when Chris Pine, Steve Trevor, was in Themyscira, he was kind of like, what's going on? And the same damn thing happened when Diana was in our world, you know, in the real men's world, at the war, the front lines. She got to see the horrors of everything. She got to see the way humanity is, you know, how disgusting humanity is with, you know, the early 20th century London, how disgusting everything is. And, you know, she got to see the everyday life aspect of life. And I love that type of thing where it's really a fish out of water and where characters get to develop themselves so well. And both of these characters really, really did do that. And they have such good on-screen chemistry. I mean, there are so many jokes between those two that I'm not going to spoiler in this spoiler-free review, but I just want to say it didn't feel shoehorned in. At that time, it felt natural. And I just gotta say, the way Gal Gadot acted as Wonder Woman, when Diana and Steve Trevor are talking, Diana's eyes follow all of his facial movements. She is awed by the fact that she has a man in front of her, you know, and the question she asks and the way he responds to it is so natural and yet extremely funny at the same time, because you would believe that's the way the conversations went between those two, you know. Then I really also have to say the way that Patty Jenkins can direct these breathtaking scenes that just you can't help but just drink it in, man, to quote the greatest of all time, Chris Jericho. It's amazing. And then the action set pieces. There are really 3 major action set pieces. The one in the beginning in Themyscira, one in the front lines, which I'll talk about in a moment, and one at the very end, which is the epic climactic, you know, battle sequence with Diana and Ares. But, I mean, Patty Jenkins, girl, whatever it is you do, I'm there. Alright, I mean, I saw the movie Monster, of course, it's a very more kind of like movie where it was more personal, but here, Patty Jenkins really did outdo herself. Wow. I mean, you can tell it was produced by Zack Snyder because Zack really likes that kind of stuff, so very well done, Patty Jenkins. Really, really, really tipping my hat off to you. Amazing. Amazing. Continuing on, I digress. The action is marvelous. The sequence that I was just talking about that's in the front lines of World War I. Okay, call me a pussy, call me a girl, whatever the fuck you want, alright? I was sitting there in the movie theater, and when Diana climbs that ladder, when she says to Steve Trevor that she will be the one that does this, she is going to go out there and she's going to save these people that are being held for slaves and have no food to eat and are being murdered. She is going to be their savior. She's going to stop this. She's going to put an end to this, and that's what she's going to do. They're not going to avoid it. They're not going to get somewhere where they have to get any quicker without helping these people. And when she climbs up and the fucking Nazis, well, not Nazis, excuse me, the Germans start firing at her, she climbs up and this music breaks down and she's dodging these bullets and she puts up her shield and she's just in the middle of it all. I had tears coming down my fucking eyes because of how long I've waited for this. A true female-led superhero movie. An unbelievable, perfect human being that is a force of good standing in the middle of all of this. mind blown, and just a person that wants to do good and who is powerful enough to do so and who decides to do so. It was just so beautiful. You know, I literally had to like wipe off tears off my face because it was just this beautiful, beautiful moment that I can't explain enough to you people. Like, you really do have to witness it to understand what I'm talking about. Right? Okay, let's talk about the villains a little bit. I want to talk about the villains. Now, there's technically 3 villains. There's the main villain, who is Ares, so I won't spoil. You know, and then there's kind of the 2 side villains, I guess you can say. And all of the villains were done extremely well. I thought the villains were done extremely well. Enough for them to be considered villains. Let's put it that way. Didn't have, other than Ares, there wasn't a lot of backstory to the villains, to the minor villains of the villains of the war, is what I like to call them here. There was just enough for you to be like, okay, badass, okay, you know, she's crazy, okay, they're kind of coming together to create this evil plan, you know, to destroy humanity. But the way that Ares was written into everything, and the way that the plot made fucking sense from a mythological standpoint to a human standpoint to an actual real life setting standpoint, loved it. It all was really written all together, and I can definitely see that they tried really hard to make it all flow together and make it all seem cohesive, which they did an extremely well job with. I have to talk about the vibrant colors. I love that Patty Jenkins shot this movie with film, you know, 35mm camera, and they really did a good job of making this movie feel very different from the DCEU, but at the same time right at home. You know, like Themyscira, breathtaking. London, not so much. You know, war. The actual war was extremely colorful, but the colors were right for the actual era setting. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm trying to do here? To explain? Like, once you see the movie, you'll get what I'm saying, because you'll sit down and you will legitimately see that, yes, it is a dark movie, but with very vibrant colors when it comes to that, you know? There were moments in this film, when it comes to the action, alright? And I'm talking about everything. That you just sit there and you just like... You can't help but have your jaw open because it is truly epic. Like, I'm telling you guys, this is the shit, okay? I also want to say that the emotion that I felt and the connection I felt between Steve Trevor and Diana Prince was not what I was expecting. I was, like, touched and moved by the end of the film, and I was like, wow, this shit actually made me care about a love story. Like, this is fucking great. You know, like, I legitimately was sitting there, I was like, with a heavy heart. It's amazing. And I can't stress how good Gal Gadot is. Every scene she's in, I was just like, can I hug you? Please? Can I just, like, hold you? Please? Please? Amazing. Amazing. She steals every person's breath. Doesn't matter if you're man or female, you will love this. And I am so glad to say that, finally, there is a character that is represented on the big screen in a big budget movie that women, girls of all ages can look up to and strive to be. This is what you need to be as a woman: a force of good, powerful, wise, you know, wonderful, you know, just so much. Yes, Wonder Woman is going to stand the test of time, and it is a movie that I'm going to rewatch so many times because of how much I love it. I cannot stress enough that you deserve to go see this movie, alright? Yes, you who's watching, you deserve to go see this movie for yourself, alright? You have waited for this. You have waited for a female-led superhero movie, and you have deservingly done so, and please go see this. You will not be disappointed, okay? I promise you guys. Promise you. 10 out of 10 from me. Not, you know what? I'm gonna do an 11 out of 10, alright? Just to do that, you know, Stranger Things, winky winky. But no, all the jokes aside, 10 out of 10. Perfection. Perfection. I cannot give this movie less than that because it doesn't deserve anything less than a 10 out of 10. It is perfect. It is glorious. It is wonderful. Please do comment in the comment section below if you have seen this movie. Tell me what you guys thought about it. Let's have a conversation. No spoilers. Spoiler-filled video will be up with a co-host later on this week. Most likely on Sunday, because I want to give people a chance to go see this movie before I spoil the shit out of it. But all in all, I'm definitely going to check this out again in the movie theaters, and of course, buy it on Blu-ray because, come on guys. But thank you so much for watching. Peace out, guys.
I've been so alone ever since I left the tribe.